Beyond the two of us, there are listeners who, just like us, sometimes fall into illusions. People often place their bets too early, back the wrong horse, or try to run ahead of the train before it has even left the station. I mean that many tend to idealize certain metrics and take everything at face value. Take neural networks, for example. The very first thing that appeared along with them in our current reality was fraud. Still, we choose to believe in and draw in a reality where neural networks are truly used for good and actually help people grow.
We live in a dual world, and the hardest part is the transition.
Are we in a transition right now?
Because every time something new arrives,
Or are we not?
we are definitely crossing over. The only real question is, will everyone cross?
And the other question is, where?
No, the real question is, will everyone cross? We will all move into love sooner or later, but all might turn out to be a very small number because some will choose to act from fear. And fear is the opposite of love. Let me give you an example. In the beginning, everything always moves slowly. Remember supermarket carts? When the first person introduced them, what happened? Total failure. No one used them. Everyone walked around with their own bags, so he hired people to push the carts, load them with groceries, unload them, load their cars, drive around back, unload again, and repeat. It took a month or two before others, seeing so many people using them, started doing the same. And now what do we see? You walk in with just a bag, and it feels like you bought nothing. The problem was simple. People could have bought more, but they didn't, because they could only carry 2 bags from the store to the car. And it's like this everywhere. We need to give people the chance to see it, feel it, and then get used to it. When I first saw a mobile phone, I really wanted one, but I thought it was pure fantasy. When I imagined everyone having one, my mind resisted and said, no, that's impossible. But once they arrived, it became reality. A little time passed and everything changed.
So using neural networks to grow a business already, that's an amazing opportunity we should take advantage of. Just like the developers say?
I would do it very carefully.
Right.
Because today most people are trying to make money. And when they chase money, they are pulling the trigger on themselves.
That's exactly the point.
They always are. Because if someone earns money faster and in larger amounts than their capacity for love grows, love is what harmonizes all processes. One day, science may even discover particles of love, binding elements that create the conditions to be healthy, wealthy, and harmonious in events and in life. And the key is this: we are the source of love. When you open your heart, feel love. Maybe visualize it, fill yourself, fill the space around you, fill whatever you are interacting with. It creates conditions where things unfold not the way you planned, but far better, because the mind always relies on the past. But you are moving into the future, into the unknown. The configurations you receive have never existed in your past, yet they attract you because we are drawn to novelty. Novelty is always something that did not exist before. It's like the first Mercedes. It looked like a 4-wheeled bicycle, but year after year, it evolved. And today, the very first Mercedes and a modern top-of-the-line Mercedes are 2 completely different vehicles under the same name. The same must happen to each of us. Over a lifetime, we should evolve from a 4-wheeled bicycle into a magnificent Mercedes. That means the process is endless, and we can live forever when we choose growth. And as I said before, novelty is a component of love. The engine behind it is interest. And interest is surplus energy. And when does surplus energy appear? When we are calm, at peace, experiencing bliss, and truly sensing the world.
So, in that state, we can use neural networks to grow our business. When we are calm, when we feel good.
You know, it will be when we feel too lazy to do it ourselves.
Of course.
And we will hand it over to technology. But we must distribute technology wisely. It will help us only if we use our free time for creativity and self-development to make this world better and enjoy the process.
Right, because developers say, free up your time, see how easy it is.
Because
neural networks will write your marketing plan, your nutrition plan, your training program. You just upload your data.
And we will keep adjusting all of this as our connections in love change. but our task is still to dedicate time to it. Wherever we put our time and attention, that is what grows. As I once told a businessman, you need to take just 20 minutes a day, or better, a full hour, to do nothing, relax, and allow new things to download that you will later implement throughout your day, week, month, and year. That download happens in a state without thoughts, without emotions, without images, in a state of pure presence, of doing nothing. This doing nothing is the best state for absorbing information that later becomes reality. It's like rebooting a computer. It cannot run spreadsheets, build systems, or answer emails while it is restarting. We all need this reboot. You can call it meditation, or contemplation of nature, or a walk in the forest, or lying on the couch and imagining love flowing through you or radiating from you into the space around you.
If we lie on the couch, imagining love flowing through us, while neural networks run our business and calculate our daily routines, will that be healthy and balanced from a symbiotic perspective?
Yes, it will be healthy and balanced if we keep making adjustments.
So we always need to stay engaged with our attention and still align the direction before trusting it completely?
As scientists say, the human being is extraordinary. And what distinguishes us from artificial intelligence? At some point, we realize we are no longer interested and we want something new. I can do the same thing for 1,000,000 years and keep going. It has no natural pause, no leap to the next level.
So we still retain the power of choice.
Yes, we have a divine quality, like a small child playing, then suddenly switching and moving on. And through that, the child learns. If, as they say, we teach artificial intelligence to behave like a child, to switch at the right time, to move again and again into new interests, then we create something that could truly be called God.
Yeah. And actually, about neural networks, I want to share a story that happened to us.
Yes, that really happened.
In December 2022, we were sitting in a restaurant talking about language learning, and you said, I see that exactly 1 year from now. In December 2023, I will speak English, but I won't study it. Because in your case, it honestly seems impossible to learn a language. You basically ignore the existence of any language in the world except the one you speak. And you said, I will learn English. It will be through some new technology.
Downloaded.
It will be downloaded, and I will immediately speak it fluently. Of course, I laughed in response. I remember stories like this, but I also know you sometimes see something happening in a year when in reality it may take 10. So I always leave that margin. But I remember, less than a year later, in November or October, I read an article in a popular science magazine about a new algorithm. Programs had already appeared. Still early, still learning, but they could take all of your content, your videos, and translate them into any language in the world, and they integrate it so deeply that your pronunciation, your voice, and your intonation remain the same, and your lips move exactly when they should. Everything is synchronized. I sent it to our IT guys, and by December you were already speaking English fluently. It happened on your English language Instagram channel, and on one hand, it's fascinating to watch how you perceive yourself now, not as a physical person, but as something like informational consciousness. Your 600,000 YouTube subscribers are like micro Alexander Palienkos. You experience yourself as a living info field that exists on its own, and you read the future not only for yourself as a person, but also for your social platforms. This is, by the way, exactly about social media. These are already cyborgs of a new era, not the kind where we grow metal parts and turn into Schwarzenegger from Terminator. This is cyborgization of the energy information field.
If we go even deeper, we can reveal more. When we get married, we enter into a contract. It is like a magical act that binds us on the energetic level and on the legal level, and that legal level exists in the noosphere. That is why when people separate, it is important to perform a new ritual of divorce. government bodies participate, a stamp is placed in the passport, and in the new sphere, the energetic channels are dissolved according to its laws. And we clearly see that even a person's destiny changes when they officially divorce, or when they separate but do not divorce. Their life continues in a similar way because the energetic exchange is still happening. So what happens? In every such human network, something is formed. I don't really want to call it an egregore,
More like a kind of personality.
something that consists of every person within it. For example, when we enter a scientific community, we automatically agree to be a cell in the organism of that community. And then, metaphorically speaking, we start living by a flattened average. We work through not only our own karma, but the collective karma of that group. If we enter Christianity, whether we like it or not, and since the new sphere exists beyond time and space, all the inquisitions, all those burned at the stake, all the crusades fall on our shoulders. We carry that responsibility as if we personally took part in all of it, just as we also carry the healings and the prayers.
So it's collective responsibility.
Yes, that is why we must understand. When we subscribe to a blogger or a YouTuber, we automatically enter their field. Karmically, we connect with them and with everyone else who is subscribed. That is why we once said that if we ever created a company or a corporation, we would only bring in people based on how much love they carry and how much they truly want to change this world and make it better. The principle is simple: do good, and it will return to you multiplied. When you act from love, and the key is from an overflow of love, everything comes. And what do we see? In our community, 660,000 people on our YouTube channel, they all came from my values. And how do I declare those values? Every person, first of all, is a man or a woman, happy, healthy, wealthy, young, beautiful, sexual, in wonderful relationships, in eternal love, in self-realization, in their purpose, and enjoying the process. It's like taking the Bible, which unites everyone, and taking this charter that I carry. Every time I consult someone, every time we hold events, every time we do something together, we always place our bet on love and individuality, so that a person is self-sufficient, is their own authority, and is the one who decides how much love is there and how deeply it resonates.
And at the same time, you also take on huge responsibility. You also work through the karma of the people who follow you.
Absolutely. Because
it's collective.
only those who resonate by vibration will subscribe. Like attracts like. If we grow and someone does not grow with us, they unsubscribe. If we degrade and someone chooses to grow, they unsubscribe. It's like a living organism. Some cells die, new ones are born. There are those who can live forever and reincarnate. Others remain in their stability and at some point stop watching my channel, but stay subscribed. That means updates still reach them, and sometimes they think, why do I feel so bad? I don't even watch Palienko anymore, yet it keeps getting worse. Because the updates still come, and whether they want it or not, they are still energetically connected.
Well, I hope for some people it gets better.
Worse is not for them, it is for their laws, their beliefs, their rigid ideas that no longer want to communicate with me.